Hey lovelies, so it's still a little bit white, although a minute ago it was less white, so I'd come back to my desk. I don't know whether the video before about Real Techniques brushes will be up before or after this one, but I'd explained that I'd moved onto the edge of my bed because I was really white, so hopefully it's not really white. I don't know, I'm just going to get on with the video. So, I have a book review, again, because you guys like the book stuff, and obviously I post lots of beauty things, and there's more beauty things than book things, but I don't really feel the need to have a whole other channel for vlogging and stuff, because I can't really vlog, especially in my line of work, where it's very like hush hush, things are done months and months before, and everything's very secretive, and I have to be very careful with what I can put on Twitter and what I can't put on Twitter and what I can say I've done and what I can't. So there's no point in me having a vlog channel because I will never be able to vlog often enough to keep everyone happy. So I'm just going to put book stuff on here as well, just like you guys are getting your little diet bits from me on this channel. I don't feel the need to make a whole new channel, so I'm sorry if that bothers some of you. But also, I think it's nice to share like a whole personality without having to split it up. So obviously there's going to be a lot more beauty stuff on here than there would be book things, but at the same time, you guys probably watch because you like me and you have a passion for beauty. Not that I assume that you like me, but I assume that if you're subscribed, you kind of like me. So it's nice to kind of share like the whole of me with you, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Does that sound a bit like cheesy and like weird? I don't know. But I just think it's nice to be able to, you know, share everything in one place. So I'm going to stop rambling now and sounding like a complete nutter. So basically, I lied to you. Wow, yeah, I lied. I said that I would probably read Fallen next. I lied because I don't have the first book out of this trilogy because I gave it to my friend because I was so obsessed, and I've been waiting for the last one to come out for ages and ages and ages, like literally months. I read the first two, one after the other, and then it was months until the last one came out. The series that I'm talking about is the Delirium series, which is amazing. If you like young adult fiction, although it's written in a fairly adult way, it's not for young teens, and it's unpleasant in places. It's kind of like there's killings, there's, you know, people die, there's lots of fighting, it's creepy, but it's also very good. I hope the postman can't hear me. I just heard the post come through the door. So what I read that isn't this is Requiem by Lauren Oliver, which is the last book in the Delirium trilogy, and oh my god. So if you read the first one, you'll know that it's about a girl called Lena and her society, and in this society, there's not going to be spoilers. I know last time with my trilogy one, there were a few spoilers, but I warned you. So if I feel like I'm about to tell you something that you might not want to know, I'm going to warn you. I'm going to try not to do spoilers, but it's very hard to explain like a book without saying kind of what happens, if you get me. But if you've read the first two, you will know that it's about a dystopian society where love is actually a disease. And it's very well written in the way that love is obviously not a disease. I'm not of that opinion. I'm guessing that most of you love your family, your friend, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, whatever. But it's very clever how the author really kind of makes you understand how if you were in that kind of society, that you could easily be brainwashed to think that love is a disease, because it's things like, you know how your heart beats faster and you can't think of anything but that person that you're in love with. I don't know if any of you have been in love. I I certainly have. I love my boyfriend to bits, and I think even now, like, when I get to see him, I get really excited, I get like butterflies in my tummy. He still makes me nervous because I care what he thinks. I'm completely comfortable with him, but it's kind of nervous excitement, and they kind of cite that as one of the sort of the signs of the disease, is that you can't think straight. So it's very, very clever how the author actually kind of convinces the reader that if you were in that society, you could totally believe that it's a disease, because it kind of does mess with your mind, and it kind of does sort of, you know, it can upset you sometimes, and loving someone else is a huge risk, because you can be rejected, it can go wrong, you know, one person falls out, a loved one still, all that kind of stuff. So they paint it as this disease, and the society is, you know, you get matched up to people that are kind of appropriate for you, and you're supposed to go get married and have babies and all that kind of stuff. And what they do is, when you hit a certain age, they surgically remove the ability to love. And Lena is this girl that obviously she's coming up to her her surgery, and surprise, surprise, she meets a boy. So it's all about the society, her friends, the love that she shares with this boy called Alex, and all the stuff that goes with it, basically. So her battle with, oh, is it the disease, is it not the disease? Should I tell anyone? Should I be cured? No, I don't want to be cured. It's all about that, and it's all about how the society is kind of like breaking down throughout the whole of the trilogy. And Requiem is the last book, and it's amazing. I'm telling you, I can't really tell you a huge amount about it without putting spoilers in, but I will say that the first book had a horrible, horrible ending, and it made me cry, and it was awful, and I am occasionally a little bit of a cry. I'm kind of turning into my mother, which is fine by me, because I think she's wonderful. But it's really, really good. The first book really threw me off, and I wasn't sure. Like, I remember, who's it? All That Glitters was doing one of her gliteratures, and this is kind of, I get a lot of my book recommendations from her and you guys and Goodreads, because she reads a lot of the dystopian society kind of books. And she was saying how she almost didn't want to read the second one, and that's exactly how I felt. And then I did read the second one, and I was really glad that I read the second one, because I wasn't prepared for what happened at the end of the first book. It is a real cliffhanger, and the author is really, really brilliant at kind of shocking you, pulling you in, and keeping you really entertained throughout the whole thing. There are never bits where I think, oh, this is a bit waffly, I think I want to skip it, or God, when is something else going to happen, or, you know. So it's a really good book. This is the last one, and it's Requiem, and it's about everything coming to a head, and whether the society is going to be taken down by the people that are, you know, in love and diseased, what happens with Lena and her loves or whatever. And it's a really, really good book. If you love the first and the second one, then you need to read the last one. It's just, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And I absolutely loved it. So I'm sorry that I lied to you. I just couldn't, I've been waiting for that to come out for months, and I was like, mate, I have to read this. And I finished it in 2 days. So, also, I was a bit naughty. So I know that I said I'd read this next, and I didn't, so I read that instead, Requiem. But I was also really bad, and because I forgot to take this book with me, I'd finished everything else, and I'd forgotten to take this with me to work. So Bad Hannah downloaded Birthmarked, which is the first book in a and then I will get on to this one. So I'm reading the Birthmarked trilogy right now, which was suggested by you. I can't remember who it was. I think a couple of you have mentioned the Birthmarked trilogy, but it kept popping up on my Goodreads account, which, if you're wondering, if you have a Goodreads account because you like to read, if you just type in my name, which is Hannah Janes, Jan for November, E-S, like Jane with an S, then you should find me that way. I don't think I've got a weird username. I think they just do it by your full name. So if you type in Hannah Janes and ask to be my friend on Goodreads, I will accept you. And that was it really. That was a very long, rambly video, and I'm really sorry. But I didn't want to kind of give anything away, so it was very difficult not to be a bit rambly. And also, I'm sorry I lied, but I couldn't. I was without a book for a day, and I had like, you know, 2-3 hours where I did nothing, and I needed a book, so I had to download Birthmarked. And yeah, I hope that was okay for you, and I hope that you're having a lovely day, and I hope that if you're just here for the beauty, that you don't mind the occasional book review, because it's part of me, it's part of who I am, and I just like to do it for you. I know if you ever like it, so I hope you're having a lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Okay guys, bye.